Oh, hi everybody. I'm Randy. I'm Randy and I'm an alcoholic. Oh, you can't. Oh, yeah, I got to unmute it. It's probably better if it's muted. It'll make more sense. I'm Randy and I'm an alcoholic. And I'm just so grateful to be here on Wednesdays with in London. It's fantastic. It's amazing. The reason I'm here is because I'm an alcoholic and I have a disease called alcoholism. And as an alcoholic, there's two birds killing each other in my backyard right now. I think they stopped. Sorry, got a little distracted. As an alcoholic, when I say I'm alcoholic, that for me, that means that my body has become allergic to alcohol. So I can never ever drink alcohol successfully ever again because I have the allergy. If I was allergic to strawberries, I couldn't eat strawberries. That's just the way it is. I don't know why that happened. I know why it happened for me. I think I know why it happened because if you, like with any medicine, if you take it too often, there's a good chance you could become allergic to it. Excuse me, like a penicillin or something like that. And alcohol was my medicine. It was what I used to treat the disease. The disease is the alcoholism. And the alcoholism is a disease that centers in my mind. It's a disease that keeps me restless, irritable, and discontent. The way my disease reacts in my mind, the way my disease shows up is I have an unsatisfiable, fault-finding, opinionated mind. And I have an infantile ego, this little infantile ego that never grew up. It's always in a hurry, just like a 3-year-old. It's easily frustrated, just like a 3-year-old. And it can't stand the word no, just like a 3-year-old. I might be giving myself a little extra credit. It might be more like a 2-year-old, but, I'm feeling lucky today. So I have this disease, and this disease needs a treatment, and that's why I am here today, right now, in this room. I'm here today to treat my disease. First thing I have to do to treat my disease is I have to remember that I have it, because every day my disease tells me, oh, you're better now. You don't need to read. You don't need to work steps. You just need to go make some more money. You just need a different girlfriend. You just need a bigger car. You just need a better house. You just need to go tell your boss what's what. That's what my disease tells me. It never says, oh, you have a disease, there's something wrong with you, and you need a treatment. It always says, no, there's nothing wrong with you. Everybody else is wrong. And if you could just fix them and straighten them out, then you'd be okay. And that's what 60 to 63 says. I try to read it every morning because it reminds me that I'm the actor who's trying to run the whole show. And I'm convinced that the show would be great if everybody would just do what I said. Of course, it goes on to say that what really happens is the show doesn't come off so good. And then I get angry, indignant, and self-pitying. And so now I have an unsatisfied, fault-finding, opinionated mind that's running around angry, self-pitying, and indignant. And so that makes it very hard for me to have a true partnership with another human being. It makes it hard for me to interact with other people. And then so it forces me to push everyone and everything out of my life. And when I have pushed everyone and everything out of my life, when my disease has finished blaming everybody else for all of my problems, then it says, oh, look at you. There's nobody left in your life. You suck. You're a loser. You should kill yourself. But before you kill yourself, you might as well have a drink. And that's how the disease gets me to drink again. It pushes everyone and everything out of my life, my job, my friends, my family, my wife. It pushes everybody out. And then it says, oh, look at you. Look at you. There's nobody left. The reason there's nobody left is because I've been powered by alcoholism. I've been finding fault with everybody. I've been telling them all of my opinions. I've been unsatisfiable by them. And so I push them out of my life. But then the disease says, well, there's nobody here, so you might as well drink. And I get in enough emotional pain because of my alcoholism, because of my disease, not because of what's going on outside. Because that changes all the time. It's what my mind tells me about what's going on outside that's bothering me. And so that's what I got. I hope you don't have what I have. I hope that you have something else. I hope you have a heavy drinking problem and you can stop drinking and have a happy and joyous and free life because you don't drink alcohol anymore. That was not my experience. That's not what happened for me. I had to go into these steps like a drowning man sees as a life preserver. And I had to live by principles like a drowning man sees as a life preserver. And today we're talking about step 10 a little bit, I think, right? Step 10? Step 10 is my favorite step today because what step 10 says is that I continue to take personal inventory. And when I am wrong, I promptly admit it. Well, until I have done the first 9 steps and I've paid the price for the actions of my life as an alcoholic with alcoholism, drunk and sober, by the way, I've heard a lot of people sober. I can be just as mean and nasty or more sober. So when I have paid the price and when I have made the amends, when I have gone back to the people in step 9 and tried to make their lives better because I'm in their life, rather than make their life worse because I'm in their life, which is what I did as an alcoholic with alcoholism. When I've done that, I get to a place where there's a new character that's built. And this new character can take my own inventory now. I learned how to do it in 4. I learned how to see my part in my behavior. And when I'm wrong, I can promptly admit it today. But until I got through the first 9 steps, I was never, ever, 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 ever wrong. Never. I might have done some wrong things, but only because you were more wrong. I got to wrap my mind around that. I do things that are wrong, but I don't take personal inventory and promptly admit that I'm wrong. What I do is while I'm doing the wrong things, I'm taking your inventory and I'm justifying my wrong behavior. So I'm not wrong. And step 10 is a very, very, very emotionally sober, grown-up step. To admit that I'm wrong, that is a tall task for an alcoholic with alcoholism. And I encourage you to look back in your life and see whenever you were wrong and they weren't more wrong. Or circumstances didn't cause you to be wrong. I don't think I'm a liar, a cheater, or a stealer, or a manipulative person. I don't think I have those qualities. I only do those things because you forced me to. My whole life, I've justified everything that I did. It says we need to leave justifiable anger to those more able to handle it. Well, I don't know anything but justified anger. I've never been unjustifiably angry. That would be crazy, right? If you just got angry for no reason whatsoever. I'm always justifiably angry. That's why I'm never wrong. Because my anger is always justified. I can always find a reason, somebody or something to blame my anger on. And then I have a get out of jail free card for all of my bad behavior because you did it to me. You made me do it. It says in step 10, it says, it says, how can I best serve thee? Thy will, not mine, be done. These are thoughts which must go with me constantly. Right now is constantly. When else would constantly be? I'm not going to do something constantly later. I'm not going to do it constantly when my wife gets on my nerves or constantly when I get to work. Constantly is right here, right now in this room. Power. How can I best serve thee? Thy will, not mine, be done. Right now, as a way of life. How could I best serve thee? Thy will, not mine, be done. Constantly, right now. My Creator, how can I best serve thee? Thy will, not mine, be done. Now, I'm doing it, but are you? Are you doing that in your mind right now, constantly? How can I best serve thee? Thy will, not mine, be done. These are thoughts which must go with me constantly. If those are not the thoughts that are going with me constantly, I might not be in step 10. This is now, this moment, right now. Application of principles only happens right here, right now. We can go to meetings, like we're in a meeting now, and what my mind wants to do is it wants to sit there and it wants to listen. And while I'm listening, I'm talking to myself about what the speaker is saying, like you probably are right now, and judging the speaker and judging the message and deciding what you like or don't like about what's being said and deciding if you're going to try it and when you're going to try it and who does this guy think he is, and forget all that. I'm going to go out now and I'm going to have an argument with my boss. my body stays in the room and my mind is out arguing with the boss about a paycheck. But what I get to do is I get to have application right now. How can I best serve thee? Thy will, not mine, be done. These are thoughts which must go with me constantly. Right now. It's very, very, very emotionally sober. A lot of emotional sobriety in step 10. Most of the time, today, I don't do wrong. Most of the time, I only think wrong. I think wrong thoughts. I don't usually act on them anymore because I've learned restraint of pen and tongue over years and years and years of being in AA and seeing how a burst of temper can ruin a relationship and all those things it talks about in there. So I can practice more restraint of pen and tongue today, but inside my mind is where I'm wrong today. I'm having wrong thoughts. I'm tearing people to shreds. I'm finding fault. I'm forming opinions. That's where I'm wrong today. Because that doesn't serve the purpose of how can I best serve thee, thy will, not mine, be done. There's no judgment necessary in there. There's no fault finding necessary in there. And I have to continue right now to take personal inventory. What's my mind talking to me about right now? What's it talking to me about? And then I can put into my mind, how can I best serve thee? Thy will, not mine, be done. And this is a way of life. You don't have to do it. I don't care. It's not my mind. I don't have to live in your head. I only have to live in mine. Isn't that fantastic? How painful would it be if I had to get your head right so that my head would be okay? That would be terrible. All I have to do is practice these principles for my life. Now, I don't do it alone. I'm not saying that it's so much better if we all go together, right? We do some step studies. So we used to have a men's step study. We have a women's step study group. And when we do that, we go together right here, right now. We all go together. And we can go deeper into the recovery. And we could share recovery with each other and go deeper and share our experience about how, when I tried living constantly and how can I best serve thee, thy will, not mine, be done. When I live that as a way of life, what happens in my life? And I could share that. And then you could share your experience with it and we could go deeper. Or we could talk about how much I drank, which isn't going to help anybody because everybody in here drank probably as much or more than I did. You don't need my experience on drinking. But we could share our experience on being sober, on application of principles, and going deeper into that way of life. I'll say this and then I'll shut up. It says we stop fighting everyone and everything. That's also in my mind. The stopping fighting isn't necessarily with other people. It's in my mind, fighting with my life, arguing with my life, saying this isn't good enough. God, you made some mistakes. You need to straighten out this woman, straighten out my job, straighten out where I live. But when I stop fighting all that, I can relax into right here, right now, being exactly the way it's supposed to be. And then I can start living. How can I best serve thee? Thy will, not mine, be done. And I can start looking for what I could do for God, which starts in step 7. Step 7 says, I humbly ask him to remove my shortcomings, where I fall short of doing God's will in the day that I'm in, where I fall short of being the man that I think my Creator would have me be, which was read. It was read in the beginning of the meeting. I am now on a different basis. If I'm living this program, I'm now on a different basis. I'm on the basis of trusting and relying on infinite God. Just to the extent that I do as I think he would have me do, does he enable me to match calamity with serenity. It says, just to the extent that I do as I think he would have me do. Right now, what would you have me do? How can I best serve thee? Thy will, not mine, be done. Is that the best way to say that? What would you have me do? And that's a way of life. Starts in 7 with humility of the first 6 steps. I can humbly ask him to remove my shortcomings. And then in step 10, I continue to take personal inventory so I can see when my shortcomings are popping up. And then I promptly ask him when I'm wrong. When I'm wrong. What do I do when I'm wrong? Continue to take personal inventory, and when I'm wrong, I promptly admit it. I promptly admit it to myself and to God, and if I have acted badly, I admit it to another human being. But most of the time, 90% of the time in my life, I see that I'm wrong in my mind, and I promptly admit it to myself and to God, and I don't have to go make amends to other people again. Because I'm living on a different basis. Anyway, thank you for letting me share. I look forward to hearing your experience with how can I best serve thee, thy will, not mine, be done, and living these principles in your life. Thank you.